Hello, nerds! Thank you for joining me here on Nerd News Clips. This is the second channel. This is the place for all of the short-form content as well as the individual sections and just generally speaking smaller things. If you are into the longer form content, youtube.com/generallynerdy is the place to go see that. With that out of the way, let's get into this. Let's talk gaming and tech. I have noise issues. I hopefully will be able to get it in post, but either way, I apologize. Things are happening outside the studio that I have no control over. So, gaming and tech news. We have some follow-ups. We're talking more about the Embracer Group. I didn't have the greatest details last time. They're just buying up a bunch of smaller developers. They seem to be going about it in a pretty good way, as far as I'm sure many industry analysts would say, because they started it by buying up smaller developers, and now they have moved up to some pretty big ones. They started with developers who've specialized in mobile gaming and things like that, and now they have purchased Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and soon to be renamed SquareEnix Montreal. These are all Western developers from Square Enix that they have bought. So even though SquareEnix Montreal is going to share a name, it's not going to be the same company. Very interesting. I don't know exactly. I was unable to find if there is any sort of connection between Embracer and Square Enix from Japan. But yeah, they're going crazy, buying everybody. Next, on follow-ups for gaming and tech, we're talking about Halo. The next event for Halo is Halo Infinite is the Yappening, just the goofy little thing, and some of the stuff has leaked ahead of time. We have Maddie is a new AI. We have a whole bunch of Forge things that have come out, as well as a bunch of new weapons. And I mean, we talked about all of the other new things. This is just a follow-up because we saw the AI images on the live show, and we went over the new weapons on the live show. But now we have, this isn't a live show. This is a bigger audience than the live show does. So I had to put it in here too. Yeah, super exciting. Halo, we're moving on. So our final piece of follow-up for gaming and tech has to do with that Logitech console that we've talked about. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. Logitech is getting into the console business. Kind of. So some pictures have found their way onto the interwebs recently. You're not seeing them on the screen right now because Logitech is going through and striking everyone who's posting them, be it a YouTube video or on Twitter or presumably anywhere else. They're content striking people for posting these images, which is why this didn't go into the rumors section. This is a full-blown news piece because this is their console. So again, I'm not putting the images on the screen or anything. And if you're listening, then this will benefit you as well. It looks like if the Steam Deck and the Switch had a child that then was powered by Android, and by Android OS. So it's a weird situation. It kind of just looks like an Android tablet put inside of a thing that holds it. It's white. It has very familiar button layout. No mouse trackpads that we could see as far as the functionality of the Steam Deck. But on these images, the reason I say it's powered by the Android OS, on these images, it looks like it's basically running a modified version that I'm sure Tencent helped Logitech with, because that's the other major company that's incorporated into this project is Tencent. And Tencent, for those that don't know, is the same company that owns TikTok. That's right. Okay. So weird for that reason in and of itself. But also just, it doesn't look like there's going to be any proprietary gaming. It's all going to be different ways to access different cloud gaming services, and possibly, according to some of the literature, it sounds like they're being very vague, but it sounds like there is the potential that we could also download games from Steam and store them natively onto this platform. So as more comes out about the Logitech gaming console, we will be talking about it. But that is what we have for follow-ups. Let's get into regular-ass news. We have no trailers or anything, so jumping right in, we're talking a couple of pieces about Sony. That's right, we're talking the big one, the price hike. We'll get to that. First off is they are going to be integrating Discord voice chat into the PlayStation 5 dashboard. So this already exists to a certain degree on the Xbox dashboard, which is very interesting because there are more relationships between Discord and Sony than there are between Discord and Microsoft. So yeah, very strange that it took longer to get onto the PlayStation platform than it did on the Xbox platform, but it is happening. It will take approximately 2 firmware updates to fully integrate. So right now, I believe the firmware is firmware 5 something, and it will be fully rolled out when they roll out firmware 7. Don't forget to update your console if you want to get the Discord integration. The other thing, like I said, we're talking about the PlayStation price hike. We are almost 2 years into the life cycle of this generation of console, and the PlayStation 5 is not getting cheaper. Matter of fact, it is getting more expensive. Now, the official word from Sony is that they will not be raising the price officially of the console in the United States, very specifically in the United States, but almost every other market that they sell the PlayStation 5, the price is going up. Just blanket statement, everyone's paying more money for it. Now, that being said, if you were to go and try to find just a base level PlayStation 5, not the software only, but just a hardware playing PlayStation 5, you would not find a basic model. You would only find a bundle. So in theory, the price did also go up in the United States. They're just being a little tricky about it, playing a Nintendo, if you will, by bundling in extra software and calling it something other than just a base model. But basically, it's a base model with a game. So yeah. Interesting. They are the only major console manufacturer that is raising prices as it stands right now, though Nintendo arguably did just also raise their prices by releasing the OLED. Was it worth, I believe it's a $50 price difference from the standard Switch model to the OLED Switch model? Is that OLED screen worth $50? As a consumer, probably, but as far as raw materials go, probably not. It was probably a $5 to $10 upgrade, and so they're making a lot more money per console now because they gave us something that we value higher. So, and then also probably going to see a lot of Microsoft bundles happening very soon, again, as we're coming into the holiday season. Just seems likely. So yes, everyone is not technically raising their price, but they are in practice raising the price for their consoles because software doesn't cost that much, and these minor hardware adjustments don't cost that much, but they're going to sell them to us at a premium because that's how they make their money back. It is the way of consoles anymore, so it just makes sense. The interesting thing about this is that Sony isn't doing that in other markets. They're just simply raising the price. So very strange marketing decision there, kind of making them look bad. If anything else comes out of this, we will keep you posted, but let's move right along. All right, our next one has to do with, this is not directly gaming related. This is much more tech related and honestly, creator tech related. AMD has just announced the next GPU chipsets. The Ryzen 7000 series chips will be launching September 27th. And we just got done talking about how PlayStation, or Sony rather, is raising prices across the board. Well, AMD is almost universally dropping prices, at least by a little bit. The only exception to that is the baseline model chip is going to be about $100 more than the previous generation when it launched, but it's the only one that's going to be more. The two mid-grade models are going to be approximately the same, if not a little bit cheaper, and then their top end, the 7950X, is going to be $100 cheaper than the previous generation when it launched. And it's going to be, you're not going to have to upgrade your chipsets on your motherboard or anything like that. It's all going to use the same saddle, so you can just swap out GPU chips. Yeah, not exactly, but it's basically the same, and less power consumption. So it's more efficient, more powerful, just wonderful all around. Assuming they're not lying to us, because it is tech, and you know, tech folk want to make their stuff look as awesome as possible, and that is very potentially not the case. They're saying, AMD is claiming that there is going to be a 29% increase in general performance across the board. This is more than just gaming. Like I said, this is very much goes into the creative side of things. So if you're YouTube, if you just are a tech professional of some sort and you need creativity to make your job function, then this is apparently going to be the way to do that, because this sounds like right now this is going to be the best stuff on the market, and it's dropping in price. So that's cool. All right, that is what we have for regular ass news. Let's talk gaming and tech suggestions. Normally we do a game here in the suggestions. This time though, we're doing something a little more techy, and that is some AI art. NightCafe Studio is the AI art generator platform that I have been using the most. Well, I will be doing a quick and nerdy on these shorts platforms if you are interested to see other options in this arena. But honestly, your best choice right now is NightCafe Studio. If you don't want to pay and you don't want to wait 6 months on some waiting list where people could be pushed in front of you in line for reasons you don't understand, yeah, NightCafe Studio is the best one to do it. It's fantastic. They just got a stable diffusion algorithm into their arsenal of algorithms, and so yeah, some really incredible stuff has been going on. Go check out NightCafe Studio. That's your tech suggestion for this week. Once again, this has been just a brief segment from the larger episode that has been posted over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. Go over there for the long form content, or just subscribe here if you want it in bite-sized chunks. Thank you very much for joining me, nerds. We'll see you in the next one. Before we go though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.